You can't live to yourself anymore. Somebody said, well, let's make this for America. The hell with the rest of the world. Let them solve their own problems. If you do that, and the Russians and Chinese do nuclear experiments in the ocean and have wars, they're going to pollute the rest of the world. So we've got to bring all the nations of the world together. Here's how you do it. All right, now, these are things I'm sure you guys don't know about. There used to be a place called Ellis Island where people would come to America. We wanted all kinds of people to come because there's opportunities. We needed people to work. And the Arabs came with their 10 wives and 15 wives. The guy says, you can't only bring one wife. He says, why? We come from, everybody has a lot of wives. I said, well, in America we have one wife. He says, you have one wife and you don't even get along. We have 10 wives, they all get along with each other. So they argue, you know, and there's no right or wrong way. There's no right or wrong. All that's bullshit. Depends on the culture you're coming from. See, so we base our decision-making upon a global survey. Then we break down the differences in nations, not by attacking their religion or their social customs. What you do is you talk about things we all have in common. All nations need clean air, clean water, arable land, and a relevant education. Relevant education means no business courses, no courses in professions that are parasitic, that don't do anything for people. Okay? They know how to farm, they know how to operate farm equipment, or design automated equipment to do that. Is that clear? So that's the kind of professions you have in the future. Professions that make the world a better place. There's no profession to take advantage of your position. There's no gambling casinos, no need for them. Now, most millionaires that I've met were very stupid people. They know investment banking, they know money systems, but they don't know how to live. So one of those guys that worth $4 million gets another $2 million, he buys a gambling casino. He doesn't have to have any more money. He can live any way he wants to with $4 million, or $10 million, or $2 billion. What do you need that kind of money for? You think a guy like, the guy that made his money, Bill Gates, you think that he has a way of thinking? No, he doesn't. He'll build a big house with a lot of rooms, with a lot of guests in his swimming pool. But he doesn't know what to do with his life. Because you don't learn in school how to relate to people, how to get along, how to find meaning in your own life, and select a direction. All the things that are absolutely necessary you don't get in school, and your parents don't teach you, because they don't know. So I'm saying there is other ways of doing things, and it would take us about 10 years to change the surface of the earth to what you would call paradise. And when I say the middle class live better than kings, everyone will live better than Bill Gates. You have no idea of what the future will generate. It will generate smart interiors, furniture that you sit on, that memorizes your body contours and adjusts to it. You'll have so many different things. Your computer puts you in touch with the world. 10 years ago, or say 11 years ago, what your laptop does would cost $10 million. Did you know? How many of you knew that? So your laptop is getting smarter, broader, wider, smaller, faster, and that's happening in all technology. So when I say the future will live better than Bill Gates, this is what I'm talking about. All you have to do is say to your oven, bacon and eggs, Chef Milani style. Got it. Now, the waitress said to me, will I be a waitress in your system? I don't mind, she said. I said, no, not at all. It's not my system. It's a system. The minute you sit at a table, the menu lights up. You understand that? It's not visible until you sit there. Then it scans you. Why does it scan you? You wear a ring or something that tells you who you are. And if you're diabetic, it adjusts the food that comes up in the middle of the table to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Doesn't have to, how long have you had that, are you on treatment, or all that. Hospitals will be very different design. Right now they're designed by architects. In the future they'll be designed by social engineers. They say, what's a hospital for? What are your kids for? What do you have kids for? Do you have kids because that's the thing to do? Everybody has kids. You get married, you have kids. It's the result of fucking. People don't have sex to have kids. They mostly have sex, the kids result from it. So the more kids you've got, don't get mad at me. Think about what I'm saying. So the reason that I'm saying kids are false, because if you really like kids, you'd be talking to kids all your life. You spend time with kids because they're boring as shit. They have nothing new to say. The kid can say, lie, look at, that's my daddy, and that's my mommy, and that's my sister. They can't say anything interesting. You say, oh, how cute. See, all that bullshit conversation will disappear because your options become thousands of different things you can do. You wouldn't want to wipe a baby's ass. You want a baby's ass wiping machine. and so people, if you ask people what they want, you know, if you go to an impoverished area of blacks, say, and you say, what do you want? You have anything you want. He says, well, I like me a pool table. Because they don't even dream outside of the area they live in. And people think within their culture. If you ask an Indian, say Seminole Indian, what do you want? He says, I'd like a nice thatched hut on a reservation. He's not going to say clear water systems, arable land, nutritious food. He can't say that because he doesn't have that in his background. That's what I mean by people cannot exceed their environment. Now, how about some questions or disagreements or areas that you have problems with? Yes?
Okay, people all the time talk about how to get there. From my perspective,
we want to make this
at the root or at the radical, I think the question has to do with decision. I won't say governance, I won't say politics.
I'm going to try to answer that. And if I failed, you have to let me know. So you didn't answer it.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, the system has to collapse. That puts people in, hey, what happened to my job? I can't get another job. You have to put them in a condition where they look for other things. Right now, they don't give a shit. All they give a shit about their personal lives. Most lives in monetary systems are self-centered. Do you understand that? What's in it for me? Okay. When they lose their jobs and can't get another job, and the Obama group is not able to solve the problem, and England begins to collapse, and France, and all the other countries, then they say, what else is there? Well, there's communism. Well, that didn't work. It became corrupt. So they will try different systems. Now, I don't say they'll accept this system. If they don't accept it, I feel very sorry for the human race. See, I'm on my way out. But most people have a long life to go. So I don't worry about it at all. But anyway, I'm saying that if they fail to gain this type of knowledge, if they fail to provide the funds for making this motion picture, this is all we can do, is show people the kind of world they can have in the next few years, not 1,000 years from now. The transitional phase will be painful. There'll be crime, corruption, through the transition if we get there. If the transition occurs, we start building a new city, we will have an open system in it, where we invite people from all over the world to live as guests in this city, see if they like it. Then build 3 in Russia, 3 in China, 10 in France, and on until we merge. We can't, Wednesday morning, declare the earth common heritage. You can't do that. I have nothing to do with that. I only have to deal with people that are fucked up, governments that are corrupt. That's where we're at now. To get there, you have to go through the painful transition. And the decision makers will not be what you call decision makers. Let me tell you about it. It isn't, there are roboticists today, people that design robots, that are writing books on the machine takeover of the future. Let me tell you why that won't happen. Machines do not have ambition. They don't give a shit, they don't care about it. If you work your computer Saturday, Sunday, Monday in front of 10 other computers, it doesn't say, hey, you got to give that computer some time off. They don't give a shit. Right, so your computer, they don't also say, if it isn't this month, we'll get you next month, but we'll get you. They don't care.